Hi, this is Tim Stashik and Casey Murphy with Pearl Certification. For all you real estate agents out there and homeowners, maybe you've already gone through our pre-qualification survey and you've received feedback that your home is ready to be certified. So you've called and scheduled a certification appointment, and what we're doing out here is to really walk you through what that certification appointment is going to look like. So Casey, why don't you tell me what the process looks like, how long it's going to take, and things you're going to be doing in the home.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Tim. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Generally, I'll look at some of the documentation that the homeowner or the agent has provided. I'll spend a few minutes walking around the outside of the house, take some pictures, then go inside and continue on a visual diagnostic or a visual inspection of the home. At the end of the process, that's when I typically put up what's called a blower door. And we'll go ahead and film that a little bit later so you can see what that entails. And I'll be explaining what these different visual inspections or diagnostic tests mean.
All right, so it looks like we're ready to get started. Ready to go?
Yep, sounds good.
Let's do it.
So one of the things we like to do is take a look at any documentation that the homeowner may have. Documentation can be about the building shell, the heating and cooling system, or the different appliances in the home. An example of building shell documentation that can be helpful is any receipts or documents from the builder that indicate insulation levels. Now I am going to go ahead and walk through the house, visually verify what I can, but if I don't have access to the attic, for example, or for instance I don't see behind the walls, I need documentation in order to support any high-performing assets that I want to certify. In this case, we have documentation for appliances and for heating and cooling equipment. So why don't we go ahead and take a closer look at the documents provided by this homeowner. One area that we look at is the base load. This includes various appliances such as the water heater and also the dishwasher, refrigerator, clothes washer, and clothes dryer. In this case, we have examples of the clothes washer and dryer, the dishwasher, and the refrigerator. I can see that they are ENERGY STAR certified based upon this label. The homeowner also provided information about the microwave. That's not necessary. We don't certify microwaves. And so that is not necessarily relevant for our certification. And here's some information about the heating and cooling system in the home. I'm still going to go down and verify the model number and the type of equipment it is. But this documentation can be very helpful because oftentimes the information found downstairs in this case isn't going to necessarily give us all the information we need, and this documentation can help us maximize the value. So there are other types of documentation that can be helpful. In this particular home, it's a home that was built in 1971, remodeled in 1986. I'm going to verify everything I can about the insulation levels. Having said that, sometimes I can't visually see what the insulation level is, and in those situations, documentation can be very helpful. So if this homeowner happened to have information about either from the contractor or the builder or the remodeler about the insulation levels, that can be helpful. If they don't have documentation, and if I can't visually verify the type of insulation behind walls, then we simply won't be able to certify that specific asset in this home. So one of the most important assets that we take a look at is attic insulation. In this home, there's an attic hatch. In most homes, there is access in order to get up into the attic. However, this is one of the situations that if there's not access to the attic, documentation is absolutely critical. So here I am in the attic. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the insulation levels, determine its R value. Sometimes up in the attic, there's also the distribution system. I'd take pictures of that. And there are some other features of the home that might be verified up here. As I said previously, the attic insulation is absolutely critical. I can tell right now that this house has decent insulation. I'll go ahead and document it, take a photo of it, and it will be included in the certification report. So here I am in the kitchen. I want to take a look at two appliances, the dishwasher and the refrigerator. In the dishwasher, we look for the ENERGY STAR label. We already did have documentation in this home. I always want to confirm that that's installed in the home. About 90% of the times with dishwashers, if it is Energy Star, they have the label. About 10% of the time, it might be Energy Star, but they actually don't put the label there. So that's where the documentation could be very helpful to confirm in case they don't have the label. Now we can take a look at the refrigerator. This refrigerator, we know from the documentation, is Energy Star. I want to make sure that this is actually the same refrigerator that the documentation mentioned. Here, we go to the nameplate, and there's no Energy Star label. And so, as opposed to dishwashers, where usually if they're Energy Star, the label's on it, we found that with refrigerators, many Energy Star refrigerators don't have the label on them. And so we need that documentation in order to award points and recognize this as being an Energy Star refrigerator. So here we are in the mechanical room. You don't have to worry about this, but this is a great place for us to certify high-performing features of the home. We have the heating and cooling equipment here, and it's connected to the distribution system. We're going to be capturing details about both the equipment and the distribution system, in addition to some other things that are oftentimes found here in the mechanical room. One is the type of filtration that the system has. It contributes to good indoor air quality. And then we'll also take a look at other things such as the water heater. This is an electric water heater. Oftentimes you might get a tankless water heater and different things like that. So we'll go ahead and document it and see how well it performs. In addition to taking a look inside the house, we also visually inspect outside areas of the home. One of the most important are the outdoor units, whether or not it's a heat pump or an air conditioner. So you'll see us collect information about the equipment, in addition to taking a look at other features of the home that might be relevant. So during the blower door test, we're testing how leaky the home is. Now, oftentimes you might think of drafts and leaks as coming around windows and around doors, and sure enough, those areas can be leaky. But actually, most of the leaks in the home are in other areas you can't see. Along the attic plane, there are all sorts of different leakage points. Recessed cans are a really big source of leaks, as are other small penetrations that you don't see. And so while we do want to seal windows and seal doors, the blower door test gives us a lot of great information so we can identify how tight or how loose the house is, but also identify areas of improvement so that we can actually improve the indoor air quality, the efficiency, and the comfort of the home.
Well, we've just finished completing our Pearl certification testing on this home. So Casey, why don't you tell me what's the next steps for the agent or the homeowner?
Sure, after the certification, I'll go back, enter the information in the software, score the home, do some quality control, and then we'll go ahead and issue the certification report to you, including all the associated marketing materials that come with it.
And agents, if you need help marketing the home for the listing, you have access to our Pearl certification online resources page.